So, what if I told you that pretty much all the common advice you hear about money is actually what's keeping you from getting rich? Yeah, it turns out that building real wealth follows this surprising, almost secret formula. Okay, let's dive in and unlock the financial superpower you never even knew you had.
First things first, I've got a question for you, and I want you to really think about it for a sec. What do you think is the single most powerful force in the entire universe? It's not gravity, it's not some exploding star, it's actually something you can tap into every single day. You guessed it, it's compound interest. Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world, and this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's this fundamental force that is always working. The only real question is it working for you or is it working against you?
To really get our heads around this, we're going to make this big idea feel small and simple. We're going to look at how just one single dollar can start a snowball rolling downhill, getting bigger and faster until it becomes a massive fortune all on its own.
Okay, so imagine this simple choice. I offer you a crisp $100 bill right here, right now. Or you can take a single dollar, just one, but with a promise that for every dollar in your fund, I'll give you two more every single day for a week. Which one are you grabbing? That $100 seems like a no-brainer, right?
Well, you might want to see the math first. Day 1, you've got your dollar. Day 2, $3. Day 3, you're at 9. Kind of slow, right? But just watch what happens. By the end of day 6, you're already at $243. And then on that last day, boom, the fund explodes to $729. It's absolutely wild how that little starting amount becomes this unstoppable force. The real magic isn't at the start, it's at the very end.
And this graph, man, this says it all. You can see for the first few days, the line is almost totally flat. You can barely see any growth at all. Then all of a sudden, it just shoots straight up in this crazy steep curve. That is the snowball effect in real time. It's not a straight line, it is explosive. And that's the power we're here to talk about.
But here's the thing. This isn't some kind of financial magic. It's an engine. And just like any engine, it has controls. There are 3 dead simple levers you can pull to make this compounding machine work for you way faster and more powerfully than you ever thought possible.
This diagram shows you exactly what's going on under the hood. It's a reinforcing feedback loop. It's simple. The money you have, your savings, earns interest. That interest gets added right back into your savings. So now you have a bigger pile of savings, which, you guessed it, earns even more interest. It's a cycle that just keeps feeding itself, getting stronger and stronger every time it goes around.
And here's the best part. You are in complete control of this loop. The 3 levers are principal, which is just your starting cash, rate, which is the percentage it grows by, and time, which is how long you let that machine run. And listen, they're all super important, but for most of us, time is by far the most powerful lever we've got. It's our superpower.
Now, to really juice these levers, you have to start thinking differently. You have to adopt a mindset that, to most people, is going to look like you're making a bunch of mistakes. This is where we toss out the conventional wisdom and start playing the game like the wealthy do.
All right, mistake number 1 is all about your principal. You know, common advice tells you work hard, you deserve it, go enjoy your money. But the wealthy know that lifestyle inflation is the absolute killer of compounding. So they live aggressively below their means. Not because they have to, but so they can pour every last spare dollar into that principal lever. It's all about making that starting snowball as big as humanly possible.
Next, let's talk income. The common path is to find one safe, secure job. But that's like trying to balance on one leg. It's super fragile. The wealthy mistake is to build multiple supports, multiple streams of income. Money from stocks, from a side hustle, from rental properties. This isn't just about security. It dramatically accelerates how much money you can shovel into your principal.
Now, let's pull on that rate lever. The safe path is a savings account that earns you basically nothing. The wealthy mistake is to embrace calculated risk. Now, we're not talking about gambling here. We're talking about investing in things like growth-focused ETFs, which are just baskets of stocks that have the potential for massive returns over the long haul. This is how you dramatically speed up your rate of growth.
And this brings us to what might be the biggest mistake of all, the one that controls that all-powerful time lever. So many people wait. They wait until they feel ready or until they have some big chunk of money to invest. The wealthy know that's backwards. Starting early with even a tiny amount is infinitely more powerful than starting late with a lot, because it gives the compounding engine the one ingredient it craves the most: time.
Okay, so that's the theory, that's the mindset. But does any of this stuff actually work out in the real messy world? You bet it does. Let's look at a high-stakes example of this engine in action to see how these principles build literal fortunes.
So we're going to look at something called the Invesco QQQ ETF. All that is a fund that basically holds the 100 biggest, most innovative companies on the NASDAQ stock exchange. Think big tech, big growth. It's a perfect real-world vehicle for embracing that calculated long-term risk we were just talking about. But whoa, just look at the ride. In 2022, the fund got hammered. It dropped over 32%. This is the kind of risk that sends most people running for the hills. But the people who really understand the long-term power of compounding, they didn't see a loss. They saw a sale, and they held on tight. And here is the reward for that courage. The very next year, in 2023, the fund roared back with a mind-blowing 54.76% return. That is the explosive upside you get for taking on that calculated risk. By having the stomach to ride out the downturns, you get to capture the incredible power of the upswings. That is how you pull the rate lever with authority.
So, we've seen the power, we understand the mechanics, and we've got the mindset. Now, let's just boil it all down into a simple, clear blueprint that you can use to turn all this knowledge into action, like today.
Here it is. This is the entire playbook on one slide. First, really truly understand that compounding is a force of nature. Second, master its 3 levers. And most importantly, adopt that contrarian mindset. Live below your means to supercharge your principal. Embrace calculated risk to crank up your rate. And please, start now, this very second if you can, to give yourself the one advantage that no one can ever take away from you: time.
The key thing to burn into your brain is that these mistakes only look like mistakes to people who are stuck thinking about the short term. Over the long run, this is the proven path to building real wealth. So my question for you is pretty simple. Which one of these powerful, counterintuitive principles are you going to commit to starting today?